It's been a long while since I've seen a character in a movie use another character as a body shield against bullets. Django Unchained is the latest Western blaxploitation film from director Quentin Tarantino. I absolutely adore Quentin Tarantino as both a writer and a director. If I had to pick a favorite movie, Pulp Fiction would be that movie, and Reservoir Dogs is close behind. Quentin Tarantino is the reason that I love dialogue-based movies. Many of his films are among my favorites because the guy makes good movies. He's also a huge Western fan, and that influence has popped up in a lot of his films, but this is the first time that he's made a straight Western, so I was really excited to see how it turned out. And this might be my favorite film of his since Pulp Fiction. I kid you not. Django Unchained tells the story of a slave named Django, played by Jamie Foxx, who gets purchased by a bounty hunter, played by Christoph Waltz. Christoph Waltz needs help finding some bad guys, and so he frees Django so that Django can help him find the men that he's looking for. Because Django used to be owned by the men that Christoph Waltz is looking for, and so Django knows what they look like, and so that's why he's useful to Christoph Waltz. And this film takes place in southern United States at some point in the 1800s. By the way. Django and Christoph Waltz's character really hit it off, and so they team up together to kill bad people. And Django has a wife who's also a slave, owned by Leonardo DiCaprio's character in the movie, and he wants to rescue her from DiCaprio. And that's your basic premise of this movie. First off, the acting is superb. Jamie Foxx freaking kills it as Django in this movie. He's excellent. I got nothing else to say about that. And then it was so nice to see Christoph Waltz again. He played the German officer in Inglourious Basterds, and he's phenomenal in that film, but he's just as good in this movie. I want to see you in more things, Christoph Waltz. You're great. And then Samuel Jackson is really great as this grumpy old slave that works for DiCaprio, and he kind of gives DiCaprio crap. He's not on screen a lot in this film, but his character actually has a little bit of depth, and I was surprised by Samuel Jackson's character. He was really great in this movie. All those performances were fantastic, but the one that really stood out for me was DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio, lots of people don't like him at all, but I have no problem with him as an actor. He's been in some of my favorite films, and he is so good in this movie. There's a scene in this film, I'm not going to spoil it, but it involves a skull. So if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'm not going to spoil it. But my jaw was on the ground in awe of his performance in that scene. It's absolutely phenomenal. Leonardo DiCaprio stole the show for me, and props to you. I'd like to see you as a villain more often. And then Quentin Tarantino himself actually makes a little cameo in this film, and that's the best cameo I've ever seen in my life. I'll just say that. Great performances mixed with a great script. I mean, it's a great combination, as it always is in Tarantino films. What really impressed me about this film was how different it was. He just keeps getting more and more original as time goes on. This one blew me away by how different it was from all the other films that he's ever done. I mean, it's a Western, obviously, but it's a Tarantino film, but it almost doesn't feel like a Tarantino film because it's very, very different from anything that he's ever done. And that really impressed me. I just don't understand how he can take such a serious subject matter and make it so funny. It really doesn't make sense to me, but he's so good at it. He keeps topping himself in his films. There's things in this movie that you're just like, I just can't believe that happened. Yes, it's a Tarantino film, but I still can't believe that just happened. I feel really bad for the people that went to the movies with their family on Christmas Day and were like, oh, there's that new movie, Django, that's out. We should go see that. And they've never seen a Quentin Tarantino movie ever in their life, and they go to see this one and are just like, I feel bad for those people because they don't know what they're getting into. This is one of the most R-rated films of the films that he's made. You've got the language, that's expected for a Tarantino film. You've got the violence, that's expected. Then the male genitalia. Not so much, but it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. Tarantino just continues to show that he doesn't give a crap about what people think, and it's awesome. Tarantino's always been a really good visual director. I mean, he's always known what to do with the camera ever since Reservoir Dogs, but he has really perfected his craft. You watch his films and they are masterfully crafted. There's some shots in this movie that are absolutely breathtaking. I mean, some of the visuals are just gorgeous. This is one of his best looking films in my opinion, and I was really blown away by that. To give this film a fair critique, I do think it was a little bit long. Now, at no point was I bored, but when your film gets to be over 2 hours and 30 minutes long, unless it's like an epic, you gotta trim some stuff. Looking back, I can't think of any scene that should have been cut in its entirety, but I think there's areas that could have been trimmed just a little bit. That being said, this is one of the most entertaining 2 hour and 45 minute films I've really ever seen. It's a whole lot of fun all the way through, but it is a long movie, so prepare yourself for that. I'm gonna give Django Unchained a 97 out of 100. The only Tarantino films I like more than this one is Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. I really adored this film. It's definitely one of my favorite films of the year, and you definitely need to go check it out. Just don't take your kids with you, or grandma. That's my recommendation. Anyways, that's my review of Django Unchained. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel and go check out some of my other movie reviews. Then do me a favor and like this video below and comment and tell me what your favorite Quentin Tarantino film is if you've seen one. Mine's Pulp Fiction, hands down. It's my favorite film of all time. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks so much for watching.